This video is a compilation of highlights from the 3D animations I created between 1988 and 1991 on a modest home computer called the Commodore Amiga. The Amiga was very much ahead of its time. It inherently, out of the box, had full-color, high-quality graphics and even a dedicated graphics processing unit when such things, back in the days when such things were only available for the PC and Mac, with the addition of highly expensive expansion cards. This opening film is of the Voyager spacecraft going by the outer planets. This opening sequence was actually in 2 dimensions and done with a program called Fantavision, but the rest of it is in 3D using a 3D program called Videoscape 3D, which was the first 3D animation application for any personal computer that I'm aware of. It was, however, very limited. It had no texture or surface mapping. Every polygon had to be colored individually, which created kind of this cartoon-like effect, as well as some of the rendering artifacts you see in Saturn's rings. Here's going by Neptune. Voyager hadn't reached Neptune yet when I did this, and there was speculation that Neptune didn't have continuous rings like Saturn's, but had just what were called ring arcs. Later on, I did a revised version of this animation, which you will see in a bit. This one and the next 2 animations you're going to see I actually did for a computer graphics class. This one was called Tiny Geometries, and the assignment this was for, it was supposed to be an abstract piece, which is why you're going to see a bunch of brightly colored polygons and polyhedra. These polyhedra represent the 5 perfect solids of the ancients plus a sphere. And in this sequence we see the polyhedra falling into a classic simulation of a gravity well in space, such as a black hole. This again was done with Videoscape, and this should be Phong shaded, so the black hole is nice and smooth. But I remember it was taking forever to render, so I turned it off. Here we see it nicely smoothly shaded as the camera falls into the black hole itself. And this sequence was done for an assignment where it had to be character animation, and it was done with a program called Animator Apprentice, which was the first ever character animation package. And Animator Apprentice was the forerunner of the current program by Martin Hash called Animation Master, which is available on the PC and Mac. And this is my revised version now of the Voyager animation. I did this with a program called Imagine, which was a great deal more sophisticated than Videoscape was. Imagine did have texture mapping, so the planets look a lot more as they should be. Passing Jupiter and several of its moons. And then we'll see Saturn next. Yes, the Amiga was definitely a computer ahead of its time. As I say, it had full color, kind of semi-photographic quality graphics long before the PC and the Macintosh did. And it had a windowing environment when the PC certainly was still, all you had was the DOS prompt. And the Amiga had multitasking before either the PC or the Mac did. But the problem is that Commodore, who made the Amiga, made the mistake that many a political candidate has made, and let its opponents define it before it could define itself. Jerry Pournelle and other commentators with large megaphones regularly dismissed the Amiga as just a toy or a game machine with no serious application. And Commodore's marketing response was somewhere between inept and indifferent. It's almost if they didn't want the Amiga to do well. And here we see Neptune, now since the Voyager flyby, so now we see Neptune as Voyager saw it, with its blue clouds and full-scale rings with no breaks in them, and Neptune's moon Triton. And so as we see Voyager head out into deep space, we say farewell to the Amiga era. By 1996, because of the bad marketing, the Commodore was bankrupt and the Amiga effectively defunct. I still miss the Amiga, but it was fun while it lasted.